Hello and welcome everyone to another one of my beautiful conversations. As you know, I'm Tanya Otterstein-Liehs, self-care advocate, coach, and fitness coach as well. Podcast is all about empowering yourself, believing in yourself, loving who you are. And that's why I have these guests that share the same message I do. So with me today is Lynn. And the way I found Lynn is through one of my other guests I had on here. And as you know, my podcast is all about, listening to your voice, sharing that powerful message of I need to believe in myself. I need to empower myself. And through Trish, I found Lynn, and I checked Lynn's website and her voice that she has, and I said, yeah, Lynn's got to be a part of this podcast conversation as well. So thank you, Lynn, for being here, for sharing your message, for sharing your voice, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
Well, thank you, Tanya, for having all of your guests on and empowering women and just empowering us to do something different and be a better us, be
Yeah,
a better
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I love that, right? That we can all not be kind to ourselves, but this this platform allows us to share the importance of it, right? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lynn, our audience wants to know, who are you? So please share
Oh,
with us, Lynn, who you are. Tell us a little about yourself, and your journey to where you are today.
sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm a mom of three. They're all in their 20s now. My oldest is 26, all the way down to 22. Um, uh, the proudest thing and the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life is my children. My husband is a retired OPP officer. I retired 2.5 years ago already after 31 years in education. And I was a special education teacher, a French teacher, a consultant, a principal, a vice principal, and a superintendent. I was very set and very driven about what I wanted to do with my career. It was exhausting, took a lot out of me, which is kind of what brings me here today. Back after 1 year in the role of a superintendent, I was stopped dead in my feet. And we'll talk about this in a little bit about paying attention to ourselves, our bodies, what's happening around us. Because for 2 full years, I ignored symptoms, very serious symptoms, and sat up from an MRI machine and was told in the emergency room that I had a brain tumor. And I had a tumor that had shifted my brain a full centimeter to the right because I had been I turned 50 years old. It's this new job. It's the learning curve. Oh, I'm a mom and working full time. It was just so literally forced to stop, take a whole sidestep, a whole year of my life, learning the new me, loss of memory, and all those things that came after the craniotomy. And I worked for 1 more year than I needed to. 5 more years actually in the job. I was able to go back to that executive position, had to do it in a very different way. But I knew it was time to go. I'd already had that stop. I'd already learned that work was important to me, but it didn't define me. So for a year I went squirrel, 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 squirrel. What do I do overnight? Right? It's just such an important part of who you've been for 31 years. And a year later, I landed on a company I call Lynn McLaughlin. Right now, I help people tell stories, just like you're doing, Tanya. There, I discovered this world out here of remarkable, incredible people who've endured things that are incomprehensible to many of us. And by enduring it and getting through, they not only have opened new doors and new possibilities for themselves, they say they're in a better place because of what happened to them. So I help people tell their stories now. I help people publish their books through my own, do my own writing, and in a podcast, kind of like what you do. So that's my purpose. I found my why. I love what I'm doing now. I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. I really like, Lynn, how you said I was ignoring the
Mm-hmm.
signs, the signals. I was ignoring what my gut was telling me. And I was using all these excuses because I didn't want to hear it. I was ignoring it. And I love that you pointed
Mm-hmm.
that out because it's so true. We all do it. And, when you said it gave me power, it gave me strength, it does, right? When you finally say, whoa, hold on here. I need to listen to my gut. I need to see the signs and symbols because it's telling me something, and
Mm-hmm.
I when I finally did that, I became stronger, I became more powerful. And in the end, it allows you to help other people. It allows you to get through any struggles or traumas, and it allows you to heal. So I think those are really important points, that you mentioned, and I really wanted to bring that up again, because you hear it all the time, right? You hear it all the time. And, I'm hearing too in that message of what you said is that we can often use our excuses to hold us back. But the
Mhm.
fact is that you allowed yourself to heal. You could have said, okay, that's it. I went through cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm just going to stop life. But you didn't, right? You realize, okay, wait, there's this new passion I'm having, and I'm going to go on that journey of the passion. And I'm
Mhm.
not going to worry about whoever, whatever is saying, because inside, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. And this is where I need to be. So I love that, because one of the things in my podcast too is exactly what you're nailing down is listen to that inner voice. Listen to your gut. You have the power. Give yourself permission. And you were an A-type person, I guessing.
Oh yeah. Oh
And to
yes.
shift, to become flexible, right? Like we
Mm.
can all do it. You're not set to do it one way, right? It's like when I talk to people when they ask me about, the traumas I've gone through, that I could use that as, sympathy, but it's not. I become stronger at the end.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing that. I love that message. It's very, very powerful. And, as far as you say, your stories, is there something that came out of, you sharing your stories, allowing other people's, their stories? Like, how did that come about?
Well, I think there's just so many of us that are, I'll use the word lost. We're doing this multitasking, being pulled from here to there, 1,000 things on our mind, and we're not present.
Hmm.
And we're missing our real purpose. We don't even know what our why is.
Yeah.
What was my why for 31 years? Oh yes, I know what my why was in terms of serving my students. I'm helping them be the best possible people they could be as, as people and academically. But in terms of my own personal purpose,
Hmm.
that's a whole different conversation. So, I mean, I just have a blank.
No, I think you said it. It's the teaching, right? You were teaching other people, but you forgot or you felt you didn't need to teach yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And in that teaching too, it opens doors, it opens opportunities, it opens new, um, I'll say a new journey, right? Life is a journey, is it not? I
Oh,
mean, we go
absolutely.
through ups and downs and bends and wanting, but through our journeys, we learn. Through our journeys, we become stronger. Through our journeys, we're able to get and move on. And knowing that as hard as life can possibly be, when you have that positive mindset, it really helps you to shift your mindset, and it really helps you to get through things you never ever thought was possible. And with that, I'd love to know, Lynn, what allows you and what helps you continue to thrive in this passion of doing what you do, of allowing people to tell their story?
Oh, it's the people that are helping me thrive. I mean, so once a week, I'm interviewing someone, I'm speaking with someone, and of course, I get to know them ahead of time. And when I hear what these people, men and women, have endured in their lives, I mean, to the point, I could go on, sexual assault, gang rape, all kinds of horrendous things,
Hmm.
losing their entire families, losing a child to suicide. My goodness, if they can get through that and share their story to help other people who are going through something similar, it just feeds me.
Hmm.
It just feeds me. If I could do it, I'd do 5 interviews a week. Can't do it physically or myself, but it just drives me to keep going because there are so many people out there struggling. And if you could just connect with
Hmm.
one person that you think might actually understand what you've gone through, then that might make all the difference in the world to you and your future. So yeah, that's what drives me, keeps me going.
Yeah, it's so true, right? We have stories we hide, but then when and this from my personal view too is when you start sharing the story, all of a sudden you have these other people that reach out. It's like, whoa, thank you so much. You've just helped
Mhm.
me by sharing your story. And what helped you is now helping me. It's powerful, right?
Yeah.
Never deny the power of your own story, because maybe you think it's not going to help anyone, but do not kid yourself. It's helping someone. Some people, you don't even know how many people. It's like this domino effect, right?
Mhm.
Maybe they're not going to reach out to you, but never say to yourself, no one's going to listen. Why bother telling anybody? It's not going to help anyone. I'm going to keep it inside. I mean, we all have it. Sometimes some of us feel comfortable. Sometimes some of us don't. I mean, it's been like a long time ago when all these things happen, and I'm just sharing it over the last 2 years. But again, you just become, I think, more comfortable when you realize it helps other people. So that's wonderful that you have your podcast and that you help other people share their stories through books, through your podcast. And it's like you said, Lynn, I've seen it, I've felt it, I've heard how what you're doing is
Mm.
helping other people. So that's wonderful. Keep on. Never
Mhm.
stop, right? Never
Thank
stop.
you.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the people who are telling their stories are healing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So
It's
true, right?
it's
And
yeah, it's
when you
part of what they need to do to move forward, many of them. So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's right. And we're January, and COVID's been with us almost a year now. And it's been a journey for a lot of people. But, I'd love to know, during this whole COVID time, and I know how maybe things were out in March are possibly different now in your own
Mhm.
life. So, what's something you've been doing and advice you can share with others to help you go through day to day? Because our
Well,
life is different, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I have to get up every morning with knowing what my why is and what my purpose is. I mean, I have to. And I teach part-time at the college. So back in March, that was a whole other total learning, a whole new, how are we going to teach online and all those kinds of things. And now we're moving into another semester and doing it in a different way. So that's been something that's kept me occupied, serving students at the college level. But really, I've refined my podcast. We're almost at a year. I'm so proud of some of the people that are right now publishing their book and telling their stories and helping them to get their stories out there. For me, it's, what, I can get pulled down. We can all get pulled down. We're allowed to get pulled down. I've got to be out in nature every single day. I've got to be outside. Rain, even if I'm going for a drive if I need to. I think we're still allowed to go for, oh wow, we can't today. Today we're in a stay-at-home order. Okay, but I can still walk. So even, I mean, we've been blessed here in Ontario, as you all well know. Yesterday it was plus 6 degrees Celsius. It was a beautiful day. I head off for an hour or so. I take my camera with me. Not that I'm a photographer, but for me, I'm grounded if I can be outside in nature. And that was hard for my husband and I last summer because we're provincial campers. We go new campgrounds. We love to go out boating in our little 19-footer and none of that. What do? If you know what you love and what keeps you grounded, you got to find a way to do that. But for some people, that's not possible right now. So if you're an artist, if you love music, if you go back to find whatever it is that you love that brings you calm, and try to find time every single day to do that for yourself. And I am lucky. I have 3 grown children. One of them has moved back home. I don't have 5 children doing online schooling at home right now. But please try to find a way, even if you have to go into the bathroom and take a bath for 25 minutes, to give yourself some time to find your groundedness. And I think we've all learned, Tanya, not to take what we were taking for granted before this pandemic hit. There are a lot, even with the stressors of what's happening, can we find something to celebrate every day to keep us going?
Yeah.
My
So the
thought.
key words too that I talk about, Kim, is, the advice you gave, as well as, have gratitude every day. Find something you love, even if it's 5 minutes, do it every day.
Mhm.
Get out in nature, move your body, be in the moment, and feel blessed.
Yeah.
And again, just relax more. So that's great advice. Great advice. Wonderful.
Mhm.
Now, as we're coming to the end of our chat today, Lynn, there's always 3 questions that I
Yeah.
ask every guest. And, it's, I'll say, almost the favorite part of my conversation with my guests, because we find more about you, the more of who's Lynn. So the first one being, Lynn, is there's many, many, many quotes out there, but what is
Yeah.
one single quote that you truly love and you tend to live by?
Okay, I've got it. And this is unknown. I don't know the author of this quote. I've done several searches. So, whatever you do, hold on to hope. The tiniest thread will twist into an unbreakable cord. Let hope anchor you in the possibility that this is not the end of your story, that change will bring you to peaceful shores.
Mm,
I love that quote.
nice. I do. I love that. It has lots of meaning behind it. It's great. And as far as I know, you talked about advice, throughout our conversation today. But if there's one specific word of advice or sentence of advice that you can share with our listeners today, what would that be?
Be present.
Mm,
Um, and it wasn't until I was stopped in my tracks with my brain tumor that I realized that I was not present. I was what I was said earlier, drawn here, things on my mind. Be present right now in the moment. Enjoy whatever's happening in front of you, that dinner with your children, that walk out in the woods, that Netflix series that you're watching, but be present and don't take anything for granted.
yeah, that's great. I was reading a book. Was it last night? Just a little bit of it, and it talked about that. So how their universe works in an interesting way. So there's a reason I was reading that yesterday, and then you're talking about today. But when they say and I experienced it myself, when you're in the moment and you're present and you let everything else go. So let's say you're looking outside your window. Just be in the moment, be present. What do you see outside? Let nothing else come to your mind. But what do you see? You see the sun shining? Is it raining? How are the clouds moving? What's the color of the sky? What's the color of the snow? What's the color of the grass? Do you see the birds? When you do that, be in the moment, be present, you just have a sense of
Mm-hmm.
calm and peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that really goes well into this last question I'm going to ask, because it has to do with gratitude. Lynn, you're a mom. You have kids, so you can't include your family. But what is the one thing, if this was the last day of your life, and I'm sure this thought passed through your head when you were faced with brain tumor. But what's one thing you would be grateful for right now, today, if today was the last day of your life?
I would find a way to reach out to every single person who has had a positive impact on my life, and I'd make sure they knew that they had done that, that they were important to me. I have gratitude for each and every single one of them. Some people come and go. Some people are in your life for a short period of time, but they're there for a reason, right? So I would find a way if it was the last day. I'm not saying just one thing, Tanya, because I think I'd find a way to be outside walking with someone I love. And I definitely find a way to have a couple of toasts in celebration, in hopes that whatever legacy I leave, my children and other people will carry that on. And yeah, so a little bit more than one thing there, though.
That's all right. That's all right. Do not apologize. Oh, so thank you very much, Lynn, for your time, sharing in this mindful conversation, sharing, your beautiful message. And, Lynn is so right. Just, as you watch this and anything's going through your mind, think of the one. Just be in the moment today. Be present. Tune into how you're feeling. Do not ignore what your gut is telling you, because your intuition is amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you, Lynn, and thank you, everyone, for listening to another beautiful conversation here. And, when you go to bed tonight, think about the best thing that happened, because no matter what, there's always beauty in every day, feeling blessed in every day, having gratitude every day as you lay down, close your eyes, and go to sleep. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, write it down, something you're grateful for. This is Tanya Otterstein-Liehs saying thank you very much for another conversation. Take care, everyone, and make sure to hit subscribe and message back, comment below, because I read every one of your comments. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.